afternoon. There appears to be an enormous amount of power in things like being loving and being more thoughtful and caring and displaying compassion and empathy, being unselfish, thinking of others, helping, supporting. There is much more goodness for us to receive when we attempt to give more of that stuff in our lives. Compared to getting what you can, lying, telling people what they want to hear, not speaking your truth, being dishonest, always having an agenda to have purpose or a motive to do things. Using other people for our own selfish gains. Just to name a few. If we are the latter, and we do not enjoy our life, then maybe it might be time to try to think of others and think of the impact that we have on other people. But if you are happy being that person of dishonesty within your soul, then stay there. Stay where you want to get what you can out of others all the time, not wanting to be honest, always wanting to do things for an outcome for yourselves. If you want to stay there, and as I said, if you're happy in that, well, that's fine too. As I've said, I can only speak from my own experience, and I've experienced both sides of that fence, and the good side, which I describe it, compared to the bad side that I had prior to rehab, gave me more control in my life. Definitely gave me more control in my life, where it allowed a lot more opportunities to connect with other people, decent people, people that aren't, um, you know, that are honest people, and people that do try in life and can live within a structure where um, they're, they're more accountable for what they do in life. So it's a choice to do it, and if you go the other way, well that's fine, but going that way, um, it definitely didn't bring me happiness. Um, people, people didn't trust me. Um, I was addicted to drugs because I liked that. That was my comfort in that in that dishonest world within myself. And why I call it dishonest is because there's no value in it. It was all about me, and and I got me. I definitely got all that stuff, and yeah, I wasn't. I definitely wasn't happy with it, and to change it, to jump over on the other side of the fence and start being more loving and more caring and more understanding and thinking of other people and more supportive. Having a life for the good of others and yourself instead of having a life for the good of you. I realised that there was a difference. Having the life for the good of just myself was again was just all about me, and I really couldn't go beyond that. I was so stuck in that, and and I didn't know why I was unhappy, and I didn't know why I continuously went to prison, and I didn't know why I was heavily addicted to heroin and other drugs, and I didn't know why I was lonely. I was living in my own prison without bars. I created that, and, and when I was shown that I created that by people confronting me on my attitude that surrounded that selfish behaviour, um, all about me, then fortunately I could see it, but I had to take stock of it. I really did. I seen the manipulation. I seen the self-centeredness within me. I seen that I was angry. I seen that I was threatening and intimidating, and I was untrustworthy. I could see clearly that I was a thief, and I used to steal. And it wasn't until I took stock of the things that weren't making me happy in my life, and stopped externalizing it, and going, it was the people that I associated with, or the person that told on me, or the person that called the police, or the drug dealer's fault, my peers, what happened to me as a child, bad relationships, incidences. When I stopped all that, it allowed me a different pathway to start getting closer to being more loving and more thoughtful, and being unselfish, and allowing people to trust me. Because I become trustworthy. I was the one that stopped stealing. I was the one that seen behaviours and attitudes and what I was doing as a correlation to my unhappiness, and to me not liking myself. I could really start marrying it all up. And the benefits of seeing that, and to go one step further, seeing it's one thing, doing something about it is another. We might know that we are acting in ways where it's really selfish, or we're acting in ways where we just can't cope, and admitting that we can't cope, and it's okay not to cope, just admitting that. Admitting you're out of your depth. Admitting it is me that is struggling emotionally. I can remember many times I've struggled emotionally over the last 30 years since my turnaround, and especially in close, intimate relationships, where I am not designed to get close to a partner. I don't trust. I get bored. I lose interest, and it can only be somewhat have the potential to be fixed if that happens in my life. I think by acknowledging it, it's my part that I identify. I can't speak for the partners that I've had. But what I can speak for is the struggle that I've had in that dynamic, and I can see my part in the struggle. Where I'd run away, and I couldn't cope, and I couldn't get close. It was like I have a like a shield that comes over me, and I really shut it off. But that doesn't mean I can't be, as I said, loving and caring and thoughtful and considerate and helping other people, and be honest with my actions and my decisions, and what I'm doing in life. I can still be all that, but it's knowing thyself. I don't think you can wholly stay in that mode of turning yourself around to be something other than the person you are when you are unhappy, when things aren't working for you. If you don't take stock of it, blaming other people for it just doesn't get you to the starting line. It does not get you to the starting line. To just turn up to enter the race of change, it takes responsibility. It takes responsibility to give ourselves the opportunity to be something that we're not in that place when we're unhappy and unfulfilled in our lives. And I can't speak for others, but when I was in there, I wanted something more, and that's what was making me unhappy. I didn't know how to get something more. I just continued on the unhappiness cycle and the unhappiness life, day in, day out, and I got happy like a pig in shit. But it wasn't happy. It's not, my soul isn't happy in shit, and that made me more unhappy. But I had to cope with it because I knew no way out. It was only taking that accountability for what I was doing wholly and solely without blaming, and it took a while to learn it. It gave me, as I said, it gave me a pathway out, and that pathway led to being more confident in showing my feelings and being more confident in expressing myself without fear of what others may think of me. And it didn't happen overnight. It's an ongoing process. It's hard to show your vulnerability, and it's hard to show your heart, and it's hard to show you're scared, and it's hard. But that place can lead you to finding more freedom in going down a different way of being more honest and not lying, being more sincere, showing more compassion, reaching out for people, thinking of them more so, not always having a motive to get what you want all the time. So it's possible, but to get out of struggle, you've got to see the struggle that you're in. And when you can see the struggle that you're in, it's nobody's blame. That's probably why you've come to the earth, to sort that out. That nobody is to blame for you. Nobody's to blame for your struggles. Nobody's to blame for your hurt, for what you've experienced. Nobody's to blame for that. It really is a gift, and I know it's hard to accept that, but it's a way to overcome. instead of chasing the same tail and not being able to get out of struggle and pain. So hopefully I've shown a little roadmap that can maybe be a little raindrop or a sprinkle, you know. That's all people may need. Maybe that's all I needed. It was a split second thing that made me realise a lot of things that helped me see what I was doing, and that led to a great life and a very fortunate life. And I'm very blessed that I had the vision, the insight, the wisdom, call it whatever you want, but to take that full responsibility. And as I said, that got me out of pain, and it got me wisdom, and it made me see a lot of things that I didn't know how to get out of. So have a great Monday and take care.